Hi, folks. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hello, if it is your first time here, I'm just letting everybody in. Feel free to grab a notebook and pen, some Sharpies, some big paper, glass of water, cup of tea, anything you like. We've got loads to cover this morning, so I'm excited, but it's going to be quite a lot. You might have to go, you might have to go over the replay, I think. I've been sort of going through it all and thinking this is quite a lot to take on, but that's all right. I've sort of adjusted the classes so that they are more advanced because we've got so much in the A to Z in terms of class replay. So where I'm heading now, the Sparkle on Substack sort of over 18 months old, and I just want you guys to get access to like my advanced thinking and strategy as well. So this one is that, definitely. So if you're a beginner, don't feel lost, don't feel overwhelmed. It's fine. Take on what you want to take on or leave and circle back, whatever you like. Okay, lovely, lovely. Yeah, I've got a change of scene, a change of backdrop. My husband's moved the desk, so this is always interesting because I don't like change very much, but I do actually quite like the change. It felt really fresh and new. And also, there was a cupboard behind me, so it was kind of awkward when we were using the room for other purposes, and now it gets to just be a desk and a chair again. So that's good. If you are able to, could you share your Substack URL in the chat and say hello? Let us know where you're joining from. I just put my phone on airplane mode so that nobody comes through. There we go. Lovely to see who's here. Thank you for your commitment on a Monday morning. Okay, so if you're new to Sparkle on Substack, I'm Claire Venus and I am an engagement consultant and mentor. I used to work in festivals and events and then moved my work online with a festival mindset. So I love supporting all of you in your creative endeavors on Substack and beyond. There'll be a slight twist to my teaching this year because I want you guys to be thinking about Substack as a business. If that's something that you want to do, I want you to be understanding more about how it fits into the ecosystem of other things that you're doing off platform as well. So even if you don't have a business and you're not thinking business-minded things, it's just helpful to know how Substack is fueling the way that we show up on other platforms and all those bits and bobs. So that will be woven in as well. Thank you for putting all your intros in. Okay, so just let me know if you have already edited your automated welcome emails from Substack. So we get 3 of them. We get one for free subscribers, one for paid subscribers, and then we get one that is for imported subscribers. So if we were going to import a CVS file from another mailing list provider, we could send a specific automated welcome email. Just put a yes or a no if you've looked at those already. It'll just be helpful for me to know. And I'll go ahead and share my screen. Oh, so it comes up with all the options. Let me see if I can do it this way around. Do, do, do. Okay. Let's get on the right tab for you guys. Okay. So, this one. Okay. So in settings, we have this little piece here. Now I need to double check, but I'm sure if you have found in membership switched on, you also get another one for that, but I haven't on this publication. I've tried to use my most basic publication so that you don't see like a whole load of different stuff that's confusing for you. So this at the moment is a free publication. So it's Team Sparkle by me. We're going to run a challenge there, a joyful growth challenge next week. I hope you guys are up for it. I'm dead excited. It's going to be like a daily prompts on joyful growth. So come on over if you'd like. So there's not much here. And so we're kind of just starting with that blank page essentially. But when you press edit in here, you can go into edit all of these welcome emails and say some nice things to your subscribers. So the first thing to do is welcome them. Obviously, it sounds obvious, doesn't it? But we want to welcome them. We want them to feel welcome. And there's not much else there at the moment. So we've got a bit of a blank page. The other thing that would be really good I'm just sorry, I'm just letting more people in, to do is to tell them more about who we are in the world, and really try and meet them where we're at, where they're at. Ideally, if you can try and prompt a reply, that would be amazing. It'll be amazing because it'll keep your emails out of their spam filters because they've already replied to you. So your email system will flag it up as being something that you want to receive. And it'll also be nice for connection. So if somebody does reply, you can have a little bit of a chat backward and forward. Now, obviously, in terms of joyful, sustainable growth, if people were doing that, 5, 6 times a day, that becomes quite a lot of extra admin work, but they don't. So, in my experience, I've always had questions turned on for both my publications, and it's very rare to get a reply, but there'll be like a couple a month. So on Creatively Conscious, it says, "What's your favorite ice cream flavor?" And then people will reply to that. So something easy, something that kind of meets them where they're at, something that brings you into their day would be really, really nice. So have a little think if there's a question that you could ask them from the off. If you can think of something that relates to where you are in the world. So the reason I asked people their favorite ice cream flavor was because I live by the beach, so it was a nice fit. So if you are thinking about what else you want to, why is it not letting me? There we go. If you are thinking about what else you want to show them about who you are in the world, give me some ideas about what else might be nice to put in this welcome email. Do you want to put maybe one of your most popular Substack posts? Do you want to put a little gallery of images in here and show people a little bit more insight, a little bit more behind the scenes as to you and what you do? What might be quite nice for you guys to do? If you've got any ideas, just pop them in the chat. This email can be as long as you like. So if you split it up into headings, you can really kind of use the information in your about page, put some of that in repetition, but also invite them more into your world, and give them more insight into what they're going to expect. So when people subscribe, sometimes at the moment, especially they're subscribing from one note. So they've read one note of yours that they like, and this is the first piece of email interaction they're having from you. So you need to almost presume that they don't know anything. So it could be, yes, that they've gone and they've read a few of your pieces and they've looked for free posts and all that sort of thing. But I think we just presume that they don't know anything, and then that covers all bases. One little trick that's quite nice to do is to ask Chat GPT what he thinks they think AI thinks. So this is the copy from my about page for Team Sparkle. So it's very short because I've not really padded it out yet. I've just kind of given people a tiny bit of insight. So you can see how short it is. So I said to the chat, "Tell me my ideal reader and what they like." And then I pasted like literally everything. I didn't even bother taking out the subscribe buttons or my photos or anything. I just pasted it all in. I have the free version at the moment. And then this is what comes back. "Your ideal reader is a creative soul who values joyful, sustainable growth over hustle-driven success." Great. Yep, that is correct. "They are likely writers, artists, coaches, and heart-led entrepreneurs who want to build a meaningful Substack presence. Deep thinkers and storytellers who appreciate intentional content and thoughtful conversations, drawn to slow living and balance, inspired by nature, creativity, and the ebb and flow of seasons. Interested in ethical solutions, soulful business growth, not just numbers or virality." So because I've been working with chat quite a lot, it does know a little bit more about how I run my business, which is super helpful. But honestly, you'll be so surprised at what comes out. So this is from your about page on Substack. And once you've done that little exercise, you can carry on a conversation. If they don't get it quite right, say, it's not quite that. It's actually more of this. And actually, I see it as this, and ask them to give you more messaging. Now, the reason I think this is important is quite often as writers and creatives, we find it difficult to market, and we find it difficult to get into the messaging. We find it difficult to do our ideal reader avatar or our ideal client avatar. That takes work. And usually, we'd have to invest a lot of money in bringing in specialists in that area. I really like to write my own copy. Like I think I'm just a bit of a control freak that way. Like I just really want to make sure that it aligns with me and like feels right. And the only way I can do that is if I have somebody reflecting back, is this what I mean? Tell me what I mean. Do I mean this? Do I mean that? Sometimes when somebody comes into your space, and polarizes you. So you think, oh, I'm really surprised to see that reader. It's a good thing because maybe that's something that you just had a blind spot in that area, but maybe it's somebody that actually this space isn't for and they'll end up unsubscribing. And there is power in people unsubscribing because we get more authentically connected to the people that are there for us, and there's going to be a really nice connection. So, a little trick there, have a conversation. Don't use it to write your copy because people spot that a mile off and it's inauthentic. So you can definitely copy it, but make it your words. Like make sure it's edited, take the emojis out, don't leave any asterisks in. Like everybody's getting savvy to things being written by AI. So use it as a tool, as a kind of a marketing assistant, a messaging assistant, if you like. That's my advice anyway. So that was this pasted in basically, this tiny little bit of text. You'll probably have a lot more in yours. Okay, let me check the chat because it's disappeared. I wondered what you guys were saying about what you thought in terms of ideas for your welcome page, sorry, your welcome email. Are you just all chatting? Okay. Okay, so Lou's saying, as a Substack user, I do think shorter is better. Often when I subscribe to a new Substack, I also subscribe to others at the same time from someone's recommendation. So something short and kind. Yes. So see how there's like a beautiful emotion in that. So if you can get across one emotion, one personality trait about you in that welcome email, right at the top and ask them a question, and then everything else is a bonus. They might skim read it, they might click something. Ideally, you would want them to click one more thing because it just builds up a more of a picture of what you guys offer. But obviously, best case scenario, they just feel like you're kind and nice, and that's lovely. Elizabeth is saying something funny and unexpected. Yes. So we love a surprise, don't we? It's like all the welcome emails, and I remember when I first started reading on Substack, like either they were the automated ones or people had just not worked really hard on them. It was just like, oh, yeah, yeah, whereas actually the ones that stood out were the ones with a bit of humor, maybe some behind the scenes pictures that we hadn't seen, like something that was a bit of a surprise is always nice for us as consumers. So that's a really good idea. Um, yeah, Julie's saying, I started looking at my emails, but they need more work. Yeah. So the thing is, with everything that you do strategically on Substack, everything will always need updating periodically. So you can be hard on yourself and say, oh, I need to update it. Or you can just know that you're going to do that once a quarter. And I remind you anyway, because I do that work. So recommendations monthly, do those monthly because they're a massive growth engine for your Substack. But anything like that is the behind the scenes where you're doing all of those automated flows. Quarterly is enough. Like it's okay if there's a little bit of stuff that you would write better now, or you want to add more things in. That is all okay. And shorter as well. If you can't get to it and do it properly, just do something that is you. Great. So Charlie's saying, don't mind, updated them recently, switched over from Flowdesk. Lovely. Okay. Good, good. Right, brilliant. So the action that you want them to take, let's just do a little bit of journaling on the action that you would love them to take here and now. If you give people more than three things to do, they just get overwhelmed and they don't do anything. So ideally no more than three, but if you've got one action that means a lot, like subscribe to my Instagram, I'm on there all the time, or download this freebie I've got over in my business ecosystem, or come and read my most popular Substack piece, or come and introduce yourself. So I've talked before about a semi-permanent post where people can introduce themselves. I've just got a series of threads now, so people kind of chip in and out and whichever ones they fancy. So I share that there. But think about what is the essence of your Substack publication and how you're holding people through. Managing expectations as well, because we can't be everything to everyone. I'll give you a few minutes on that and I'll put the prompt in the chat for you. Okay, how are you guys getting on? Did you have any light bulbs on that exercise? Was there anything that stood out in terms of what you want people to click, how you want to connect? So Tony saying re-intro yourself threads post as a semi-permanent post. What do you do with the previous thread answers when you start a new one? Do you migrate the previous answers? No. So basically the comments threads just gets a little bit unmanageable after a while. So in my mind, it's like better to just keep it fresh because I really do introduce enhance lots of community action and really try and get people into doing that. So the threads tag is like you can click any of these now, so rather than one intro post. So I've left it there and it is flagged in a couple of emails, but ideally I'd do another one. I'm thinking probably springtime and just like get everybody to introduce themselves again. So the ins with the threads at the moment are different sets of questions. So there's things like where in the world are you? Or if your Substack was a room in a house, what room would it be? Like things like that. So it depends what fits for your tone, Tony, really, and how you want to gather your people. Um, so Charlie's saying, I don't want to forget, where can we find the open rates for the welcome email? Oh, no, they don't do that. They don't do that. Substack don't do that. We keep requesting it, but they don't do that. So we don't know. But obviously, if you have a click that comes into somewhere else that you can track. So for example, if I brought them into my CRM ecosystem and website and they had to sign up for a freebie, then I'm going to be able to track that easier if that was like the only freebie. Do you know what I mean? So it depends how you want to hold them as a business owner because it is helpful. So it could be really savvy this year to just create a freebie just for the welcome email of Substack and see how many people are clicking it that way. That could be a way around it. You could probably set up something with Google Analytics as well, but I'm not so techie with that. But I bet there's a way. Um,
Sorry, Claire, can I
oh
come
yeah, of
back?
course.
Sorry, yeah, it's mad they don't include that.
Oh, I know, I
Me
know.
and
I'm
Frankie
just
were looking for it for ages recently. I was like with my friend, and we were like co-working. I was like, where is it? It's
no,
such a
it's
like
not there.
piece
No,
gap.
I
But
know.
okay, so what you were saying is maybe like link to a Flow Desk freebie in my welcome email, like
Like
create
right
a
at the
like
top, like make that a
yeah,
big call to
and then
action, and then you know
sure,
that they're coming in. I mean, the other
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
if you
Okay,
run
that
a
could
if you
work.
run a membership inside of Substack, you can do that and set up a little nurture flow. So you really help to introduce people to the membership because otherwise they just kind of get thrown in. And I feel like that. This is why I drop everyone a DM in Substack who joins as a member. So it's always worth thinking about that customer journey. There's a workshop on customer flow, reader flow that we did last year. If you didn't come to that one, that's quite a good one just to think through. Okay, like someone new to my ecosystem, somebody who's been following me on Instagram a while, someone I've worked with, and just flow them all through. Sometimes it's about what Substack is and like explaining the Substack experience, and other times that's not relevant. So it is quite a lot to think about. Good to get your post-its out and just try and sort of map those journeys out, Charlie. What you can do is if you've got a hero post pinned, you can track everything from there, and that's super, super useful. So you don't get it from the about page, you don't get it from your welcome emails, but you do from a hero post because it's a post, right? So when I looked at mine, it was like hundreds of people were subscribing from that because it was front and center. So some people are like, oh, well, I never go on the Substack desktop. Well, lots of people do because they were subscribing that way around. So if you're geeky about analytics and you like data, that's a good way to capture it as well.
Okay, thank you, Claire.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So Kate's saying, definitely feel like my about page automated content needs rewriting now that I've got into the flow of writing Substack posts and it's evolved. Yeah, for sure. And the sharper that we get with that stuff, the more we can update our headers and footers because remember, they go out every time into email. So if people are reading an email and not the app, they're getting those every single time you email. So if there's anything that you want to do that feels pretty permanent in those spaces, like a reintroduction of who you are, or like here's my freebie, or read this post, or whatever you want. You've got the header space and the footer space. So have a think about that, Kate, as well, and everybody else. Good, good. Um, Yeah, so you guys are thinking about the freebies off platform and the forms and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not going to be relevant for everyone, but it is helpful. And if you have another social media, say, I mean, I've chatted to so many people on voice notes, on Instagram. We don't have that within Substack. So the way people use Instagram, like it is just a little bit more chatty and friendly. And, we've got little snippets of our lives in there. So that can also be like a really valuable call to action. You don't have to like jump straight in and voice note someone, but it just might organically happen that way. And that can be quite nice. So have a think about that as well. Okay. So with the outside lead magnets, just for the business owners amongst us, and then we'll go into the other Substacky emails, because there's quite a lot within our business ecosystem, and I talked about some of this in the free class last week, it's really worth thinking about how that welcome email can work as hard as we can get it to work for us. So at the moment, yes, it's only one welcome email and that's it. So as I said, if you are welcoming members in and if your membership is quite complicated to navigate, you might want to think about putting a video in there. And maybe that video links to like, here's 3 things to do today. If you've just joined us, like as a paid subscriber, say, for example, or a member, whatever language you use, here's 3 things that you can do. Come and introduce yourself, join the chat, download this 5 days to getting your stuff done or whatever it is that you want to do. So what obviously when people do receive the first post, they're already thrown in and this can build confusion. People are like, oh, where's that again? So many people will say to me, oh, I've been in your membership for a while, but I've not been to a call yet. Like I seem to just miss them, even though I've put in a video. And even though I try and remind people, it's like, what else can I do? What other things are going to be helpful for people? So always be thinking about if you do capture their attention in the free email or the paid subscriber email, the welcome emails, what else can you give them to do? Obviously, hit reply is great, like I've said, but also getting them to take action. I think slowing people down as well, if you get the option to try and just get their attention in like a really short video, like watch this 2-minute video, watch this 4-minute video, and I'll talk you around my Substack. So just doing a screen share like I do is so, so helpful. And I've said to you guys before, but it's really cut my customer service down. If you are putting them into your business ecosystem and you want them there, think about how you're going to add value as well as your Substack. So what's going to complement what you do on Substack? So say if you send one Substack newsletter a week, what else can you be doing in your other ecosystem to nurture them through who you are as a person and potentially turn them into a client if that's what you want to do? How is that going to fit together? There's a Zap that you can set up. She says, like she knows what she's talking about. I don't use it, okay? So I'm not super techie, but I know that it works because Russell, the co-author of my book, uses it so that when you get a subscribe to Substack, it pings over on whichever email platform you use, like Flowdesk, MailChimp, all the ones, and it sends them through a nurture sequence. So if that feels important to you and something that you have time to look up and do, it's really worth it. So I'll share the link as to how Russell and I learned about it in the replay notes. But that is definitely something to think about if you already have an email list off platform. The other thing to think about as well is because quite often we are paying quite a lot of money for those lists off platform. So I like to see it, and I've said this before, as a CRM. So those are people that are already working with me or potentially are like ready to work with me. So that's how I see it. Whereas with Substack, people can hang out and never pay. That's fine. Like I'm here in service. So I'm very happy for people to engage and for you guys to have more community to interact with. Like that's important to me. So loads of things in that. Okay. Selena's coming back. Good. Okay. Right. Let's go into the power of your networks a little bit. I'm just see if I need to. Oh, yes, this was it. In my 5-minute journaling time, this is what I did. So, a question. It's delightful to meet you writing this at my desk with a view of the sea on the Northumberland coast. How's your view looking? Question. More to the point, how's your Substack looking? Because I'm here doing Substack stuff, right? So that made sense for me to like open and be quite chatty. I have a ton of resources for those starting out on Substack. I'll probably add some links there. If you're looking for more advanced resources, you can join my membership over at Sparkle on Substack. And then I've put some images there. I just threw those in. So I'm a bit fussy about design. So I might do something else. But can you see like it's a real flavor and a look behind the scenes of not only where I am in the world, but also the things that I like the things that are valuable to me. So I'm talking about not using Wi-Fi and like going offline, some nice tulips, so it just gives a bit of an essence. The only thing is with putting photos in your Substack emails is we do have an issue with deliverability. So if it's honestly it's peaks and troughs all the time and we're always asking them about it. But if you do an email without images, it is just more likely to get through. So I'm going to just do that disclaimer. I'm really happy to put images in and just like hope that it gets through. But images do sometimes just clog up the system and they don't get delivered. You can see your deliverability on all of your emails in your post stats in the dashboard if you want to have a look at that. But I did just want to mention that. Okay, we'll go into that in a minute. So stop sharing there. So thinking about your network and this little piece of work, imagine someone is brand new to your space and they get that welcome email. They really love what you do. Like they are your biggest fan already. What we want to start thinking about is how can we encourage them to share our work? Because honestly, the people who share what you do are the most valuable cog in your ecosystem of joyful growth because they're going to share with like-minded people. So there's loads of different ways to think about this, but I just wanted to kind of give you that as a bit of a nugget to work with over the next little while because we're seeing so much about people going viral on notes and all of the different things that are going on in terms of like incredible growth in the Substack network. But in the joyful, sustainable space, if you have 100 subscribers, and each of them told 10 people, I mean, 10's a lot, but 10 people over a year about your work and how much they loved it. That is worth far more than going viral and trying to kind of catch up with everybody that's come into your ecosystem. It's just so, so valuable. So I wonder if you can just put your ideal reader, think of someone that you know that reads your newsletter, and think about who they might tell. If you've got any sort of connection to, well, who might they tell about it? Like, could it be the hairdresser? Could it be a friend? Could it be a colleague? Do they have a Facebook group that they could post about your Substack on? Is that relevant? So thinking about the web of your work getting out there further, and then we'll come into the call to action. But firstly, just think about the web of people who your ideal reader is connected to. I'll put this in the chat and we'll spend just a couple of minutes on that. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to think about a couple of people. I actually started thinking about like book festivals that are coming up and co-working spaces and a couple of Facebook groups that I know about. I keep wanting to delete Facebook and then there are some valuable groups on there, so I don't. Anyway, that's an aside. So in terms of the types of people that you came up with, maybe there's some insight there and maybe you can tell them as well. So we can hype ourselves, as Lucy Werner would say. She's brilliant on all PR stuff. She's got an amazing membership on Substack. Go and check her out. But we can do that for ourselves as well. So in the hope is when we invite people to share our work that they do, but sometimes that's so fast, like especially on Instagram, like if someone shared me on their Instagram stories, there won't be new followers come from that. It's just like a lovely thing. It's just a brand building and like a nice connection and stuff like that. But there are places where people will be an instant subscribe that you can think about. So for things like festivals and events, this is our new postcard. So this is our goal setting postcard that you are going to get in the post if you filled your postal address details in. Go and have a look for that, and I'll put the link in as well. Um, because I'm going to send these and you can write your goals on the back. But I decided just to put the same link on here as I have on my Instagram, like link in bio, if you like. So it's a website link to my website and it gives people lots of different options. Now I'll probably update it before the next festival I'm at, which is in the beginning of March. But these things can be really useful. It was £20 for like 300 of these. So you can design them yourself in Canva. Mika did this one for me. She's brilliant, but you can design them yourself in Canva, have a look for postcard templates, make it something that is useful, could even be a bookmark, and then you can have a call to action on these as well. And that way people are picking them up. Make sure that they're evergreen. So make sure that you can use them over a long period of time, help save the planet as well. So anything coming up for you guys on where you can share your Substack and the types of people that would be likely to subscribe? Also, think about in these automated emails, is there something you can do? So there's something on Substack where it's called group subscription. And what I do is I let people, if they want to subscribe as a two, they get 50% off the membership. So what you could do is set up something like that. So you say, if you tell a friend, they can join too. This is how to do it. So it'll involve a little bit of admin your end. You'll have to either because if they've already paid, say, for example, this would be better in a free one, but if they've already paid, you'd have to give them a coupon or something. But if they are a free subscriber, it might just be that nice push to say, oh, yeah, if you do want to join my space and you want a friend for accountability, like here's 50% off. So there's loads of ways to think about this, and you'll know what feels right for you in all of that. But I just wanted to mention we do get options and we can link people out to things. So Jane said, my ideal reader has severe chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, or other invisible illnesses. So they're friends with similar issues at best. Maybe their hospital appointments, that's probably not their gardener or hairdresser. Yeah, so I think, Jane, sometimes we can take this back to being online. So sometimes if people's world feels quite small, like they're in their house quite a lot because of the illnesses, they'll be online more. And so it might be that there are specific groups or there are specific publications that align and they are very niche, like where you're at with it. And so there could be a nice crossover there. I was interviewed by Rachel Katz about my husband's illness, and it was really interesting because she runs like a guest area on a Substack called Lady Illness Library. So she's great if you've not heard of her. But you can go back through and listen to those interviews. She does them as audio now, but it was just written when we did it. And it was really nice to be able to tell my story from a different side of the coin. But there was that bit where it's like, oh, am I okay to do this? So when I pitched it out to her, I just said, I felt like, yes, it's not me that has a sickness, but it's me that's on the caring side. And I really want to talk about everything that I've experienced trying to take care of my husband for the last 5 years with it all. So it was a really, really nice connect. And then in the comments section, these are all people that obviously really admire what Rachel's doing to try and raise awareness of long-term illnesses. And it's a really beautiful and supportive community. She's an incredible writer as well. So that might be a nice place to go. And there'll be others, but that was just one off the top of my head. Julie saying, can you share the prompt because I've been stood up? Oh, okay. Yeah, Julie, so it was around about who your ideal reader might tell and making a list of 10 people about who they might tell in their sort of world. So it could be people online in groups and stuff. It could be at a co-working space. It could be their hairdresser. Oh, I'm reading this amazing Substack at the moment, and I think you'd really like it. That sort of thing. And then flipping that prompt into how can we hype ourselves a little bit as well. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look at some of these other emails, and I will rattle through them so that you've got some time for thinking about questions in relation to all of this stuff. So, subscriber referrals let you give gifts to your readers for sharing your work. Now, it's not working as well as it should do, and this is why I've not gone into like loads of detail about it, but I think the easiest way with it is to get these links and to put them in your footer, like so that there is a place that is just set up permanently for people to refer. So these you can customize. So tier 1, 2, and 3, you can customize and you can say what you're going to give people. So I'm saying, okay, if you refer 3 people to Team Sparkle, I'm going to give you a 30-day pass to the Sparkle on Substack membership. And I ran out of characters, so I'll probably have to reword that. And then if you refer 10, I'm going to give you a class bundle. If you refer 50, which is loads, I'm going to give you a Substack audit. So that is like the highest gift possible. And it's actually some of my time, whereas the other things are quite passive. So it's easier to deliver. And then in these reward emails, you can customize this and say whatever you'd like to say. So if you're just starting out on Substack, I think just keep it quite low because, like I said, it's not working very well at the moment. So you can view the leaderboard, you can take that off your publication and just like have that there. But it's something that they just didn't put enough energy into working properly yet. I mean, they might still do it, but I think it's really nice because we get these little reward emails. So I just got one over the weekend for Lauren Barber's work. Now I followed Lauren since she set up on Substack because she did a one-to-one with me to set it up. So I know I've been there a long time, but I had the gift of 3 passes to give for like a month to her paid membership, which was just a really beautiful thing that's lovely. Like I really want to do that. So I did a out on notes and 3 people took that up. So that felt really nice. And that'll also support Lauren. So it deepens our connection. So really good to do. Keep them low. Like these are quite high, to be honest. I don't know that anybody will get these things, but I'm going to run a competition during the challenge. So they might do. But remember that the coupon is the most important thing because it's not just people that end up like, where is it? Oh yeah, it has put it in there. It's not just people that subscribe through someone sharing. There is a link for it. Um, so yeah, they've already switched that footer on, so that's fine. So if you do that, then that'll do it. But you can get the link from somewhere. I'm just forgetting how to find it, but I'll find it again. Thanks, Substack, for being tricky. There it is. Look, so you've got to go on the leaderboard to find it. So it's a specific link. So they're going to put that in the footer for you if you turn that button on. But also you can share this off platform as well, and then obviously be incentivizing. So it's a bit like an affiliate scheme within Substack, and there's some automated emails that you can do lots of lovely things with. So think about what we've talked about so far within that, and see if there's anything else that you can invite them to do, and really cheerlead your biggest fans there. So your email opt-out page, at the moment, it just says, sorry to see you go. If you're a business owner, you want to be getting them back into your system somehow. So do you want to stay in touch on Instagram? Here's my Instagram. Maybe you want to watch this YouTube video, like really high value on something, blah. Maybe you want to download this like course companion, give them something. They're going and that's fine for their own reasons, but give them something, give them a gift. Don't just let them go. Another automated email. And then you've got paid subscription expired email. So this is already what Substack have set up in the back office. And so these little sort of percentage marks it just means that it's their code to put your publication name in. I never trust them, so I always just rewrite them and just put the @ symbol, and then you can link your Substack there. So let me show you how to do that if you don't know. There we go. So I just would do it like that instead. So I know I've definitely done it. When someone's paid subscription expires, they'll have already had the warning that it's going to expire 6 days before, which I think is further along the tabs. I'll show you. So they've already decided, like, that's it, they're leaving. So it's up to you what you want to do with that information. You can give them a coupon to come back. So you could say, do you want to come back? Take 30% off. So I nearly rejoined Farah's Store's Substack on a coupon that she sent in this email. And I was like, actually, no, like I'm good. Like I haven't got any more capacity for reading. So I let it go. But then she sent a special offer with like 50% off and I joined on that. So I already had the thought, or maybe I should take advantage. And then I put it down and then she sent me, which acted like a reminder. And I was like, okay, you've given me 50% off. I'm coming back. So that's it. So this one, the email opt-out page, I just say wishing you all good things always. If you want to come back, you're super welcome. So this is the one on Sparkle. So I haven't given them a call to action on this one. I could do, but just so you guys know it's there, it's an automated email. And then this is the one. Yeah, this is the same as this one, but I wanted to show you it on Sparkle. So your subscription to Sparkle and Substack has ended. And then I've given them this offer to rejoin on the 2024 price. So we can track that. If it's a coupon, you get to track how many people take that up. So it's really good to set up different coupons for different things and just make sure you've got a note of how you're weaving people back into your ecosystem. So that's that one. This is the renewal one that I mentioned. So I'm just being really cheery in this one. Like I'm not giving them any like special offers. I'm just reminding them of the value. It's completely up to you. Like you know your readers. Some people won't open it, but it's there. So sometimes this just triggers, oh yeah, I have been meaning to get round to it. Other times it'll trigger like guilt because they haven't got round to it. So it's like, it's one of them. But you can decide how that fits. And this is our class. So I think that was the last one. And then I'm going to show you this filter thing. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay. So we've got 15 minutes before we're due to finish. I just wondered if you had any questions about the automated suite of emails that Substack gives us, any creative thoughts about how to use them. Remember, just like chip away a little bit. So just go in and edit what Substack have put in there. Set a timer for 20 minutes and see how much you can get done. And you can always go back. Finding them is an absolute delight, guys. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. So even for class this morning, I was just like, oh my goodness. So if you want to try and just put like email in, you can do that in the search bar in settings to try and be like, okay, like where is this email? And you'll get to some of them, but there's not like one place where you can be like, right, I'm going to edit all of the automated emails that Substack sends out. That would be just too easy. So try email first, and then obviously you'll get to some of them. And then the other one that I showed you, they're called referrals. So if you've got referrals set up, yeah, then it'll come up there. If you're unsure, you're literally just going to have to scroll through your settings page and just make sure like, oh, okay, then. Oh, this is the other one. If you've got this set up with your little pieces of text, Substack send one when you subscribe to somebody for free and they tell you these three things. And that's the only thing that's in the email and you can't edit it, as far as I know. So make sure those things are really clear. Yeah, okay. I'll stop sharing, then I'll do my little subscriber thing I was going to show you. But if you guys have got questions, then you can talk or you can type, whatever, it's up to you. So Sarah's saying the email opt-out page, is that different to people unsubscribing? Sorry, struggling to keep up. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it is, which is why I've got it written that way. But let me double, triple check. Partly because Substack changed their language a lot. So I'll double check and I'll put it in the replay, Sarah. Julie saying, have you set up the upcoming challenge as a separate Substack? Yes. The reason that I've done that is because Sparkle on Substack already has a lot of resources, and it feels like it just needed to be something separate rather than a section and trying to get people to opt in and out of a section, or, opt in everybody in and then spamming people. And I was like, if I have it on a separate Substack, I can lead with the videos and people can find it really easily. So if they miss day one, then they can just go back really easily. So I've had this Substack for a while and I use it as a community space for my courses. So yes, it's called Team Sparkle, if you want to have a look for it. Yeah, so Julie, we get a QR code in our Substack settings. So if you do want to use a QR code specifically via Substack, it's there. You know, I'm a big fan of going one step above and like making the most of that navigation bar. So I would never just have one page if I can help it. I'll always have like a page that links to other things and really drilling down. And that's why this has got links and it's got the name of my website as well. Of course, I could have had more stuff on here, but I just was trying to keep it manageable. And it might be, you know, within those links, I'll put a coupon or something there. Sorry, very basic, but does the welcome email go out with the usual headers and footers? I don't think it does, Sarah. No, I think it's just its own thing. We could probably test that, but I don't think it does. Okay, I've done that one. Great. Okay, any other questions from folks? Pop your hand up if you like, if you want to chat. Or you can type them out in the actual chat, whatever you like. Few things landing for you, I think. I know it's a lot, but it's just to sort of run through that they're there and we can get to them when we have time, and they can be really, really useful tools for us. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen and walk you through the subscriber tab. Last one. Okay. So in your subscriber tab, this is where you're going to find your lovely subscribers. And you'll be able to filter by all sorts of things. I've never done a class on all of the different things that you can filter. I tend to just choose one and like get you guys to think about it a little bit. So this one is probably most relevant to what we've been talking about today. But you can see this when you hit your subscriber tab here, when you're in the back office of your Substack. So when you scroll down, obviously I've just brought this one back to life for the challenge. But when you scroll down, you get the option to do your filters and you can add free. And then what does it do? Link clicks. So I really like this link clicks one because it shows that your subscriber is engaged. You know they're definitely opening it because they're clicking something. So then you would just put in there more than one. So you've got free subscribers clicking links. Now it depends what your links are and what you're linking to and from and all that sort of stuff. So it really depends how you've set your Substack up. But see, it's brought up 10 people out of 124. So I know that 10 people have been clicking links and they're highly engaged, I would say, in what I've been talking about on this publication. And then to email them, you just simply press that and then the email button. And then you write your email, whatever it is that you'd like to say, whether you want to offer them something, maybe you have something else that you want to tell them, you know they're already engaged, so maybe you can give them a bit more information. And then you go to send email. Are you sure you want to send this email? We'll not send it, but we do. So it'll basically just send that email straight away. So you don't get the option to kind of go back and see who you've checked. You just have to make sure that when you do it, you've checked you know, that button. If it is more than 50, you'll see a little tab comes up that says email all blah blah blah, or whatever the number is. Make sure you check that, otherwise you're going to just email the first 50. When you use things on Substack, when you use this filter this way in the back office from subscribers, it doesn't post to your Substack website, so you can safely email the people that click a lot, or the best sellers, or the people that have only subscribed in the last month. You can do loads with that. So as we're getting more advanced in our thinking, and as we're trying to bring more money into our Substacks, if we are, more engagement into our work, if that's what our goal is, then you can really cleverly use these email filters. It does override smart notifications. So if someone's opted to only read in the app, this overrides it, which is great for the moment. I don't know whether Substack will change that, but at the moment, like for me, because I only read in the app, and then if I get one of these, I know someone sent it from this tab, and you don't really mind because they're not very often, because people are still learning how to use Substack. So just to let you know that that'll be that. So if you did get any questions about it and people were questioning why they got that email, it's because it overrides that and you can push it through. So loads of creative ways to use that if you want to. And remember, Substack's free to build on. So you can do that. You can make your mistakes, or, you can grow from it. You can look at the stats, and, you can have all the cringe moments that we all have when we're sending emails out. It's fine. Like you're totally safe to do this work in a way that feels good for you here and then. You just got to give yourself so much compassion, because it is hard to put yourself out there. It is hard to like send a coupon email and send a reminder for that coupon email, but it's there and we should be using it. It's great to help us grow. So that was the last thing that I wanted to chat to you guys about in this flow. Kate's saying that's super cool. Thanks, Katie. Yeah, no, it is super cool, isn't it? There's loads that we can do with that, and it really changes the way that we set up our Substacks as well, because it means that we can keep coupons and stuff quite private. We don't have to tell everybody that we're having a flash sale. We can engage whoever we want to engage. We don't have to muddle our free readers and our paid community. There's loads and loads that we can do with that. So I think it can be really helpful, and you can see the stats on all that as well. Okay, good. So we got a few minutes left. So if you want to ask any questions about Substack more generally, it can be about today's class, but if you've got anything to ask more generally, I've only been stuck once. So use me while I'm here. If you've got anything that springs to mind, anything at all that you're stuck with, anything that you don't understand, anything that you'd like to do on the tech side, but you're struggling with, let me know if anything pops up. If not, then I will let you go for your tea break. Up to you. Anybody want to say hi? Everyone's Monday-ish today, I think. It's a bit Monday-ish.
No, I just ask a quick
I'll
general
say hi.
question.
I'm new, so I
Oh,
just joined. So this
oh,
is great.
hi.
I've got
Nice to see
a
you.
flood of notes here, so I will go and do all that.
I'm so glad. And it's lovely to see that workflow, because it'll be different and unique for each of us. And I think that's really beautiful. So I'll often say use post-it notes, because you can move things around and you can kind of, yeah, work within what you've got for your framework. So that's so nice. Can I just ask how to pronounce your name?
Aviva.
Aviva. Beautiful. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome to the Sparkle Call. This is the community. I'm so glad you're here. Claire, are you going to ask something? Might be typing now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I forgot to remute myself.
That's okay, love.
It's completely unrelated, but do you have a workshop, Claire, on going paid? I
Yeah,
feel like you
yeah.
do.
Yeah, we've done that a few times. So I think it's called Going and Staying Paid, which I did last year, and then there'll be another one coming up this year, because obviously people request those a lot.
Yeah.
The main thing to say is when you go paid, like that's you. So, you can build up for as long as you want. Don't feel any pressure to go paid. But once you do, that's you. You've got your free readers and you've got your paid members, and they're two very separate things. People at paywall, obviously, they're trying to get people across the pay barrier by paywall in their work. And that can feel quite difficult, because you paywall and only a few people are reading your work. So there's this balance between wanting to be read and then earning money and making sure that that all works. And then the membership model, which I run, obviously is different, because it's a community and I'm very front and center in it. So there's that side. And then there's the Patreon model, where you say, I've turned paid subscriptions on, but I'm not paywall in my work. If you want to support me, here's all these beautiful things, but I'm not going to paywall anything. So that's like the three main ways to think about it. But yeah, it's all in that workshop.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tony, hi.
Hello, good morning. Hi, everyone.
Morning.
It's just quite specific to a post that I did this morning. But when you're doing membership in Substack, so I run an event every Monday night, there'll be something digital going on. So my post is kind of an invitation to join tonight. And then obviously then from tomorrow, that's kind of dated, but there's still some nice juicy stuff in the post that can live on. What's your advice on or whether to reframe that or to re-headline that or make it more evergreen, I suppose?
Yeah, and so again, like I talk about this a lot, and for you guys, for this workshop, the post went out for free to everybody, and there was some value in there. So I was like, that's some value. It's the overview of the class. People can upgrade to paid if they want to. And then yesterday, so like last night, I paywalled the bottom and put the link in, and then reshared it to chat and was like, don't forget, if you come into class, the link's at the very bottom of this post. And then once this finishes recording, I'll change the title and put replay, welcome emails on your network or whatever I called it. And then I'll put the replay at the bottom. So the paywall will stay the same. So I constantly write like that now because it saves time. And it also means that people who are in the free network get notified of the paid stuff and then you can utilize it. So I'll just share it with you guys in chat and be like, the replay's there if you missed it. So rather than think that I need to share a replay each time, and then sometimes when there's like about 3 good replays, that's like a nice collection, I'll email free subscribers and be like, you might have missed, we've got this amazing membership. Like, here's 3 of the calls. You can watch them today. Here's the upgrade button, and just make a really specific sales email that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So to when you redo it today, you'll make that replay. Will it be totally paywalled?
Yeah. So I'm going to do it as a YouTube below. Sometimes I do it as Substack video and I'll send a bit of a preview out, but I don't love that because it's a bit like, well, I'm welcoming you guys in. Like, I'm not sort of being like, oh, hello, you know what I mean? I'm not like, hello, everyone. I'm like, hi, guys. So I prefer doing it in the YouTube way. If I was doing a free workshop to everybody that then was going to go paywalled after I'd delivered it or something, I'd probably do it the other way around and do it as Substack video. But it's just whatever you're comfortable with and like however you're addressing people, I think. I don't do a big intro at the beginning. We've spoke about this last week, didn't we? Because I'm just a bit awkward. But if I was a better journalist and a better sort of salesperson, I'll be like, I'm amazing. I've built my Substack to this. Come on over. But I just want to like cozy in with you guys. So maybe a note for me. I can get better at that.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Brilliant. Julie, hi, love. Oh, I can't hear you. You are unmuted, but I can't hear you. So there must be some mic issue there. No, still not. Might come through in a minute. No, still not. I'll just check the chat while you're having a look. So Sarah's saying, just realize there's followers as well as subscribers. What's the difference? So followers are following your notes only. So your notes within the Notes network. So Notes is like Substack's Twitter, essentially. So it's a social media feed. And the Substack said when they brought it in, the idea would be that they would follow you and then you would encourage them to subscribe. I mean, yes and no. I just feel like it's so algorithm based, it's really difficult to think about it that way. And also I have loads and loads of followers, like over 20,000, and I don't get much engagement on my notes. So I don't know. I mean, it's fine that it's there, but I don't think it's working all that well. Elizabeth saying, how do I make links to other Substacks within a post? You literally copy and paste the link, Elizabeth, and then it'll pull through. If it's yours, it'll pull through with the little image that you put on, the little social preview should work straight away. Or if you want to use the link, it's like the little paper clip in your post composer. So you can highlight some text, press the little paper clip, and then send somebody in a different direction all over the internet. Faye saying, can I ask what a hero post is and do I need one? Yeah. So the hero post is a piece of content that sits front and center on your Substack website. So when you go to the publication, you'll see the hero post. Mine's not up at the minute because I'm keeping it fresh with like the stuff that I'm doing in the membership, and that's like a conscious decision. But you'll see that usually it's like a nice photograph, so like a good quality headshot or profile picture of someone, and it's inviting people in. So mine used to say, hi, I'm Claire, welcome, I've been here 2.5 years, I'm so glad you're here, or something like in the title. And then in the background it would be explaining more about what I offered, repeating some of what was on the about page, and giving people some like little bit of insight into the way that I see the world and why I've set up this space. So it's a bit of a repeat of your about page, but it's more front and center in the design of your Substack. And you can make it different. The about page is a little bit more of like, social proof and about you and like why people should subscribe and like what they're going to get from all of that. Whereas your hero post can be a little bit more personal, but depends what type of writing you do. Hope that helps. Let me know if you've got any more questions. Pop up in the members chat if you like. So Judy says, I'm thinking of changing the name of my business Substack to match the name of my website blog page. I'm thinking about the pros and cons, but please can you explain the technicalities of doing it if I decide to do it? Yeah. So you can change your Substack URL, only once without breaking links. If you want to change it for a second time, you're going to break all of your backlinks. So every post you've ever done is going to have broken links in it if you change it more than once. So you need to be really sure that you want to change the URL. You can change the delivery name. So mine, for example, will be Claire Venus from Sparkle on Substack. That's the delivery name, as many times as you want. So when it lands into people's inboxes, it might be that it's enough to change the delivery name, but your Substack URL, like mine is sparkleon.substack. I could only change that one more time without breaking all my links. The website blog, I think, it comes down to that wider SEO perspective, doesn't it? Like what people are searching for and how they're going to come into your system. You can also, instead of having a blog on your website, you can have that link directly out to your Substack and then build your Substack as a blog. So you'll get the discoverability through Substack, but if people are landing on your website, you'll get them back into Substack. So you can do it that way around. There's a couple of different ways with it, but yeah, hopefully that explains it, Julie. Oh, good. Thumbs up. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. Just whatever you do, don't be overwhelmed at all the emails. Just know they're there. Write them on a little to-do list in the back of your journal and just slowly chip away and work through. The welcome one is the most important because if we can get somebody to do something and we can get them into our other ecosystems in another place, then that's brilliant. The others, obviously, they're there if we want them, but there was a couple of little technical tip things there that hopefully will just help as you're thinking about whether that's useful to spend your time on. As always, we want to do our best work and write. So we'll do that and not get distracted, but now they're there. Thank you all so much, and I will see you on the next call. Take care.